Hey there, welcome. So I have something that I wanted to share with you today. Last year, the beginning of the school year in August, the teachers normally have a lot of trainings to do to kind of get us started for the school year. Well, there was this particular training that I went to called the CPR and first aid training. And so basically giving us techniques how to do proper CPR and first aid and all that good stuff. Well, the instructor that I had said something so profound that I wanted to share it with you today. And so what he said is that blood carries life. The blood in our body carries life. And so it is our job, our responsibility is to protect the blood that we carry. Because when you get injured, when you get hurt, and you lose a lot of blood, you become in critical condition. And so, and if we don't take care of stopping the bleeding, then it can lead to death. And so we need to protect the blood in our lives and for ourselves physically and spiritually. So let's go ahead and dive in for the week. But I'm so grateful for you to be here and tuning in to Living Whole with Che. I am your girl, Chayla, and let's get started. So there's a story in the Bible, very familiar story. If you haven't heard of it, you're in for a treat. Um, but if you know the story, just come along with me. But the story is when Jairus's daughter is sick and he sees Jesus and he asks Jesus to stop by his house and heal his daughter. And so as Jesus is traveling to Jairus's house, there is a crowd of people and he's making his way there. But while he's there in the midst of a crowd, there is this woman with an issue of blood who has been struggling with bleeding for 12 long years. And she made it, she was determined just to touch the hem of his garment, touch the hem of Jesus's garment, so that she will be made whole. She went to doctors and physicians, and she used all the money that she had, and instead of her condition getting better, it was getting worse. And so she believed that if I just touch the hem of his garment, then she said, I will be made whole. And so that's what she did. She pressed in the crowd. She didn't make a big big attention on her because in the past, people who bleed a lot was seen negatively, like unclean. And so she didn't want nobody to know. And so she pushed her way through the crowd and she touched the hem of his garment. And from that moment, she was made whole. And Jesus was looking around and was like, who touched me? And all the disciples were saying, like, there's so many people around, like everybody is touching you. Anybody, it could be anybody. But Jesus is saying, no, like someone touched me, because the power that was in me left and did a transfer. And he's like, who touched me? And so he was looking, and the woman who was struggling with the issue of blood came trembling at Jesus' feet, letting him know it was her that touched him. And from that moment, Jesus said, because of your faith, you are made whole. He didn't say, because you touched me, you made whole, but because of your faith in me, your belief in me, you are made whole. And so from that moment, her life has been changed. She was no longer suffering and bleeding, but she got the healing that she desired and that she desired to have. And so as I was thinking, like, this is us, this was me in 2020. I was struggling in life. I didn't know that I was like this woman with the issue of blood. I was just bleeding into my community. I was bleeding in my family, I was bleeding at my job. Like I was just bleeding so much emotionally and just mentally that it was affecting every thing. And I was bleeding so much, to the point where I was carrying like tissues with me wherever I go because I was just crying so much. I didn't know when I was gonna cry. I didn't know when I was gonna um, deal with what was going on with my body. And so, and because I didn't handle it the right way, everything just like blew up, and life, I felt like, was crashing down on me. And at that point, I was really hitting like critical life and death like situation. And from that moment, I was like the woman with the issue of blood. If I just get in the presence, if I just get in the proximity of Jesus, then I will be made whole. And so I want to know, like, are you bleeding in your community? Are you bleeding at home? Are you bleeding in your family? Like, are you bleeding like this woman? And then again, like I said, it doesn't have to be physical, but emotionally, mentally. And if you are, then I have good news, because Jesus is here. Jesus is with you. He is right there with you during this process. I know it is hard, but He is with you. And I had to remind myself all the time, like, He is with me, despite of the situation going on around us, that He is always, always with us. And so I want you to look at your life and just start noticing if you are bleeding. And if so, I will be sharing the next few weeks some tips on how we can stop the bleed. Like the instructor that for my CPR first aid said, that blood carries life. The moments that we can stop the bleed, then our life can continue to go on and carry and to continue to blossom. But we have to get in the point where we want our life to stop bleeding, and so that we can be made whole. And so, yeah, so this is the first kind of video of Stop the Bleed, and I hope that you guys will join me for the next few weeks or month that we'll be talking about this topic. I believe that's it. So again, thank you for tuning in to Living Whole with Shay. I am your girl, Chayla. I am so grateful to have you here tuning with me, have you here and tuning in to this YouTube channel, Living Whole with Shay. I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you on the next video. But before we close, always remember to go love on someone, love God, love yourself, and love others. Someone needs your love, and just shower someone with love today. Take care. Bye.